everything else disappears.
The word love is used so often that it begins to lose its meaning. We say we love people, we say we love things, we say we love moments, but most of what we call love is a kind of agreement, an exchange. I will love you as long as you make me feel a certain way. And the moment that feeling changes, something begins to close. This is not wrong. It is simply the beginning, a very human beginning. But it is not yet the love that frees you. Real love does not begin with another person. It begins in the space where you stop resisting yourself. Look closely. Most of the time, you are in a quiet argument with your own experience. You wish things were different. You wish you felt different. You wish your past had gone another way. And so the heart tightens, just a little, again and again. Love cannot enter a guarded space. So the first doorway to love is not out there. It is here, in this moment. When you allow what is already present, the sadness, the confusion, the longing, even the emptiness, especially the emptiness. Because the emptiness you fear is not a void, it is space. And space is where love lives. You see, love is not something you create. It is something you uncover. Like sunlight hidden behind clouds. The clouds may move, they may gather, they may darken the sky, but the sun was never gone. In the same way, your heart was never without love. It was simply covered by fear, by protection, by the stories you learned about who you are. Stories like, I am not enough. I must earn love. I will lose love. And so you build walls. Not because you do not want love, but because you are afraid it will leave. So you hold on. You cling. You tighten. And the very thing you are trying to keep begins to suffocate. Love cannot breathe in a closed hand. Now listen carefully. This is subtle. Love is not attachment. Love is not possession. Love is not control. Love is presence. It is the ability to be with someone or something without needing it to be different, without needing it to complete you, without needing it to stay. This kind of love feels very different. It is quieter, less dramatic, less urgent, but it is also much deeper, because it does not come from lack. It comes from fullness. And when you begin to taste this, even slightly, something shifts. You stop asking, "Who will love me?" And you begin to wonder, what does it mean to be love? Not to perform it, not to prove it, but to be it. And in that shift, relationships change. You begin to see others more clearly, not as roles, not as expectations, but as beings moving through their own mystery, their own pain, their own awakening. And something softens. You become more patient, more open, more willing to stay present even when things are not easy. Because love is not only found in pleasant moments, it is also found in listening when you want to walk away, in staying when you want to close, in opening when you want to protect. This is where love deepens, not in perfection, but in presence. And as love deepens, it begins to lose its object. At first, you love a person. Then you love a feeling. Then you love moments. But slowly, very quietly, love begins to exist without needing a reason. It is no longer, "I love this" or "I love that." It is simply love. You may be sitting alone, and suddenly there is warmth in your chest. No story, no cause, just a gentle openness. This is closer to what love truly is. Because real love is not something you give. It is what you are when nothing is in the way. And yet, the mind becomes confused here. It says, if I do not hold on, if I do not define this, if I do not protect it, will I lose it? But love is not something you can lose. Only the forms change. People come, people go. Moments appear, moments disappear. But love itself remains. It moves through different faces, different voices, different experiences. But its essence never leaves. This is why loss feels so painful. Because you are not only losing a person, you are losing the form through which love was flowing. But if you stay very still, very open, you may begin to notice the love itself is still here. Not in the same shape, not in the same voice, but present, quiet, alive. And this changes everything. Because then you begin to trust love more than form. You stop clinging to how it appears, and you begin to rest in what it is. And from this place, devotion becomes natural. Not devotion to a person, but devotion to the presence of love itself, to the sacredness you begin to feel in everything, in a breath, in a glance, in silence. This is why the Guru matters. Not because the Guru gives you love, but because the Guru reveals it. In their presence, you feel something familiar, something ancient, something that says, yes, this is home. And you realize it was never about them. It was about what they awakened in you. The recognition of love without condition. And once that recognition happens, even for a moment, you cannot fully forget it. You may drift, you may close again. You may get lost in the noise of the mind, but somewhere inside, you remember. You remember what it feels like to be open, to be without defense, to simply be love. And from that remembering, something very gentle begins to guide your life. You begin to choose differently, not because you should, but because it feels true. You begin to move toward openness instead of contraction, toward understanding instead of judgment, toward presence instead of escape. And this is how love begins to live through you. Not as an idea, not as a goal, but as a way of being. And then one day, very quietly, you notice something. The boundary between you and everything else has become thinner. You look at another person and you do not feel separate. You look at the sky and you do not feel outside of it. You feel included, held, part of something vast and alive. And in that moment, love is no longer something you experience. It is what everything is. This was a letter from Hanuman, a quiet reminder of what has always been here. If these words touch something in you, stay with that. If they did not, let them pass like wind through the trees. Either way, love remains. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram.